So this is a video I put off filming for so long because you know me with scary videos. I get so scared to film them because I'm a little baby. I have no idea how Haley and Loie do it. I really genuinely have no idea how they do this all the time. It's like maybe a once in a month type of thing for me. But here I am, and I was trying to put it off for longer, but I feel like now's the best time. To make this scarier, number 1, I am home alone. Number 2, I'm located directly next to a graveyard. There's literally a graveyard right next to my room. Like if I look out that window, like, hi, there's a graveyard. And number 3, all these stories are real because I am actually doing a video where I'm reading your scary stories. Over a month ago, I asked you guys to send me all your scary stories, and I really only expected a few of you to do it. And I got so many more stories than I even expected. I didn't get to read all of them or anything yet, but I picked a few that literally sent chills down my spine. Like, that's another thing that makes this even scarier, that all these stories are real and happen to you guys. And of course, the one time I go to film a scary video, my family's not home. Whenever I want to film a funny story time or a funny video, they're home yapping away upstairs. But today, the one time I want to film a scary video, everyone leaves and I'm home alone. Props to Haley and Loie for living alone and filming scary videos every day. Before we get into this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe because you know how much that helps me, and we're growing so much and I appreciate it. And share this video, show everyone you know. Stand up on your desk in your classroom and just play this video and tell everyone to go subscribe. Don't do that, unless you wanna. Follow me on all my social medias, which are gonna be linked down below. And yeah, let's get into this video, even though I really don't want to. Ugh, this house makes so many fucking noises, I can't. Okay, so this first story I got right after I posted this story about my grandpa appearing in the Polaroid, linked down below. And she sent me the story, and it's actually what inspired me to make this video, because I wasn't expecting anyone to share their stories with me or anything, but I read this and it sent chills down my spine, and I was like, okay, I have to ask more people for scary stories, because if this is the content I'm getting, I need more of it. This is gonna be from Queen Bisa. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but you're so sweet and I love you, and thank you so much for sharing this. I'm gonna change the names in the stories just to make it more respectful, I guess. I'm gonna be reading these stories exactly as they were sent to me, so I hope you guys enjoy. So this was around my best friend Brittany's and mine 12th birthday. Brittany and her mother had recently moved to Amsterdam, so I stayed there for a school week to celebrate our birthday because we were born 2 days apart and used to always spend it together. Because it was a school week, her mom was at work almost for the full week, leaving us two hyped up, annoying children home alone. Me. So already, on day 1, we were literally making a mess in every nook and cranny of the house that there was. And day 2 is even worse. There's paint, glue, and glitter everywhere. Okay, that sounds like a fun time. Just saying, invite me next time. That night, Brittany woke me up saying a man was calling her name. But me being a grade A asshole, just thought she wanted attention. But yeah, the second day at this point, we're just living the life. And someone knocks at the door. We don't want to get in trouble for making a mess, so we're both freaking out and walking up to the front door. The door is basically all glass with the see-through tapestry in front of it. And we see a man just pacing through the public hall. This was the 4th level with about 5 apartments on it. We didn't recognize him, so we didn't open the door. You are smart, because I would not open the door. The next 2 hours, he just knocked on the door about every 15 minutes or so. We called Brittany's mom, and she just said to lock the door and call every time he knocks. 2 hours have passed, and it's quiet, so we look out into the kitchen window, and he's still there. We didn't have a camera, but I could draw pretty realistic portraits, so I decided to draw him. Brittany's mom told us to call the police if he didn't leave within the next hour. So we call the police, and they tell us to ask through the window if the man needs help. Brittany yells at him in Dutch, asking him, who are you, and if he needs help. He looks at us, and walks over to the railing, and jumps. I haven't read the story in so long, so I forget it, and we start screaming, and the police calm us down, asking what had happened. We explained to him that the man just jumped 4 levels high and gave the address. We called Brittany's mom, and she says that we have to wait until she's home before we open the door to the police. That's smart, because you never know who could be knocking and making believe to be the police. About 15 to 20 minutes later, the police arrive and knock on our door. We yell at them that we're not allowed to open the door yet. 5 minutes later, Brittany's mom arrives, and she lets the police inside. They all look very angry. There was no man, there was no body, and there was no blood. There was just nothing. The police did some investigating and left after an hour. Still nothing. We get sent to bed early because we prank called the police, Brittany's mom, and second of all, the apartment is a disaster. Around 1 a.m., Brittany's mom walks in with just a panic all over her face, asking us where we got the drawing of the man that we saw. We told her I drew it, and that he was the man we saw earlier that day through the door. She showed us a picture of the man, asking if that was him. It was him. We freaked out because obviously she knows him. It was Joe, Brittany's uncle. He took his life from jumping from a building before Brittany's birth. So basically, Brittany's uncle jumped from a building and killed himself. And this girl and Brittany saw this man at their front door knocking, and when none of them answered, he jumped. And that just gives me chills because I feel like the knocking could be like a metaphor for him like asking for help. Maybe he was asking for help and no one understood, you know, before he went. I don't know. I'm not making any assumptions. It just gives me chills. It's the craziest story that they saw him jump. Nothing was there. And she drew the picture of the man that they saw and it wound up being Brittany's mom's uncle. I don't know, that's just insane to me, and I had to share this story. Again, that was from Queen Bisa. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I will put it in the description. You can go follow her on Instagram, send her any DMs, asking her any questions if you have, and that will be in the description below. Okay, this next person didn't really send me much of a story, but it's an insane paranormal picture that I had to absolutely share in this video because it is so clear that there is a ghost in this picture, and you guys will see it, trust me. So after I posted that video, she messaged me this. She said, "Hey Andrew, just watched your video about your grandfather and that crazy ass Polaroid. I thought I'd send you this. My parents were on a motorcycle ride in Northern California on a highway that gets a lot of traffic from motorcyclists. There's literally a biker ghost breathing down my dad's neck." Now when I read that, I was like, you know, people like to exaggerate or, I don't know. But just look at this picture. I'm gonna put it right here and I'm gonna look at it on my phone. There is literally a ghost standing right next to her dad, and if you don't see it, you may be blind. Feel free to DM her or me and we'll point it out to you. But I just thought this picture was insane. This was sent to me from hey_Sarah Jane. Again, she's gonna be in the description below. If you have any questions for her, you can go DM her. Thank you so much, Sarah, for sending me this. I look at it all the time because I can't. I show everyone. I think it's insane. Okay, so this next story is a bit of a longer one. I'm gonna try to get her Instagram so I could link her below before I post this video. And if not, her name is Caitlin Ackerman. So thank you so much for this story. It's another one that just sent chills down my spine. So I'm gonna read it for you guys. Again, it's a bit on the longer side. So if you guys wanna pause this video, go get maybe a drink, maybe a snack, come back and watch. We'll be all good. Turn the light on, maybe. Once again, I'm gonna be reading it exactly as she sent it to me. I'm sorry if I butcher it a little. It's hard for me to read and be on camera at the same time because I have the intelligence of a 4th grader, so bear with me here. Okay, scene. So my parents are divorced and my dad lives in a separate house in the country with his girlfriend and her kids. When I used to live at home, I would go back and forth between houses during the week and usually wouldn't come home until 11 or 12 most nights. Now let me tell you how terrifying it is to drive out into the isolated countryside in the pitch black by yourself. I get that because driving around my neighborhood at pitch black, it is terrifying, and I live in the suburbs. So I'm with you there, sister. We have probably 3 other neighbors, but the houses are separated by large orchards of walnut trees, and I always tried avoiding looking into the lines of the trees, afraid that I would see something. If it was a full moon that night, then it wasn't that bad because I could see better. But most of the time, that wasn't the case. No lie, I used to sit in my car and grab all my belongings at once, and I would run to the front door just because it was so creepy at night. That is literally me every night. I'm not even kidding. Again, I live next to a cemetery, but I live in the suburbs, so you don't even have to say no lie. I believe it. That is terrifying. You grab all your stuff and you sprint. I always wish that I had like a remote unlocker for my front door, like we do for the car, so I could just fucking bolt through the door. I'm a baby. It doesn't help that the driveway is half the length of a football field. Fast forward a couple of months, and I think it was at the beginning of last month that I came home from college over the weekend to celebrate my dad's birthday. We had gone out to eat that night, and when we got back to the house, it was pretty late. We walked up onto the porch, and as my dad was trying to unlock the door, my dad's girlfriend spoke up and said, "Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you. But the other night we came home around 9, and your brother had left his shoes on the porch, but later we found them on the lawn aligned side by side, as if someone had been pushed down into the dirt." I thought this was kind of weird, but since she had been so calm about it, I didn't think much of it. Next thing I know, my dad is frozen in place and turned around to face me. He says, "I can't believe I didn't tell you. Out of everyone, you're gonna love this." Before I could say anything, his girlfriend told him to be quiet, and it was nothing. So I'm literally standing there confused as to what's going on. Curiosity was getting the best of me, so I kept questioning him, while his girlfriend was trying to change the topic, assuming that she didn't want her 2 younger girls to hear. Later on, it was around 11, and the girls had gone to bed along with my brother. It was just me and my dad talking when he finally brought it up. Please note that my dad has never believed in anything paranormal before. Trust me, I make him watch Ghost Adventures, and he won't shut up half the time because he's trying to find a logical explanation to everything. So at this point, I'm getting a little freaked out because it was getting late and he was acting strange about something that had happened in the house I had to stay in that night. I decided I didn't want to know the details until the morning, and he said okay. The only thing he told me was that he had never seen anything like it before in his life, and it was something creepy enough to make him, a 6'4" man, run for his life back into the house. That night was one of the worst nights I'd ever experienced. It's important to know that I suffer pretty badly from anxiety. I've had a panic attack only a couple of times before though, so I was not prepared for what was to come. I went to bed uneasy of the unknown, and my mind would not stop wandering. I'm a strong believer that if anything is near you, you will feel it, and boy did I ever. I'm getting chills. I hate this. I'm home alone and I just want to leave. I don't want to do this. Like, my head has chills right now, like the top of my head. has chills. That night, I had a panic attack that lasted at least 7 to 8 hours straight. It started slow. I pray every single night before I go to bed, just a personal thing I do. The entire time I was praying, I could feel my throat clenching up as if there was a heavy weight on my chest, making it so I couldn't breathe. Something did not want me doing that. After I was done, that's when the panic started kicking in because I knew something was wrong. I tried hard to fall asleep, but I was so paranoid and anxious that my body wasn't allowing me to breathe. I didn't sleep that night. I broke down several times as well because so many negative thoughts and the heavy air around me. When the sun rose, I felt safe again, with the light entering my room, and I finally drifted off to sleep. I woke up to the sound of my brother's voice yelling out to my dad because he couldn't find his shoes. I had watched him with my own eyes place his shoes on the porch the night before, and this time, they were gone again. I couldn't go back to sleep after that. I was supposed to meet my dad for lunch that afternoon, so I dragged myself out of bed, completely, mentally, and physically exhausted, with these massive bags under my eyes. I met up with him and my brother later on and told him I wanted to know what he saw. Here's his story. Okay, so now we're switching it up, and this is the dad story. One night, he had walked out into the driveway to get something out of his car. He had parked backwards so the front of his car was facing the streets, while the back was facing our garage. He kept the car door open while he was getting whatever he needed. He stood back up to close the door, and when he looked through the window, he saw a black figure standing at the very end of the driveway. He was confused and thought it was an actual person. He continued to stare at it, and that's when it started slowly walking up our driveway towards him. That's when he realized that this was a human-like figure with no face, and it wasn't stopping. He froze in place and yelled out to it, but it didn't react. It just kept walking. My dad backed up a few steps, and by that time, the only thing that was between my dad and the figure was his open car door. It was looking through the window at him, then just disappeared. My dad left everything behind and ran into the house. He said nothing had happened since, but just typing this out causes my anxiety to peak. It's so scary. Oh, that is so scary. My mom actually has a story about a black figure when she just had my brother. I might have been bored yet, I'm not sure. But basically it took on the form of like my dad, my grandma, and like people she loved, and then it would just turn into a black figure. And I could do a whole story time on it. If you guys would want to hear that, let me know. Caitlin actually did leave her Instagram at the bottom. It is at Kate with 3 E's _05. That will be in the description below. If you have any questions, go DM her. This one is so scary. A black figure literally chased her dad. I can't get over that. And if you guys do want to hear the black figure about my mom, let me know. If you guys did like this type of video, let me know, because I got so many stories and I can make this into a little series if you want to hear it. If you want me to read them a little scarier, let me know. I was trying to add a little light to it because I'm scared myself. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this video, and I will surely do more if you did. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share this video. Like really, share it, please. Like the one thing I could ask is that you subscribe and share and give it a thumbs up. Okay, so that's the 3 things I can ask. But you know me, I'm desperate. Follow me on all my social medias. I'm so active on Twitter these days. I will talk to you there. Instagram too, but mostly Twitter. And what else? I hope you guys had a happy holiday and a happy new year if this is posted after New Year's. If you guys want to send me any of your scary stories, you're going to send it to the email AndrewTMIViewers@gmail.com. That will be in the description below. Go email me there, send me your scary stories, and you could be in the next video. You'll get a shout out. It'll be great. You'll get like 3 followers. Amazing. Also, really quick, I forgot to say this, but don't feel like your stories have to be long. They could be short stories. That's why I kind of did these 3 stories, because one was like not even a story. It was just a picture. I had some really long stories, and I only did 3 because I just wanted to test out this type of video, see if you guys like it. So if you're going to send me anything, don't feel bad if it's a short story, if it's just a picture. Anything paranormal that you feel like is worthy of sharing, even if you don't feel like it's worthy, I might feel like it's worthy, please share. I would love to hear it. I love reading them, although they terrify me. And yeah, this was just a disclaimer. And yeah, until next week, I will see you guys next week. Bye!